And spiritually maturing is realizing you have to start asking the adult questions. Where are they getting the melanin to inject into the people? And when did melanin become injectable?
So we drinking melanin now? I feel like we living in another dimension. This don't make no sense. I guess drink to find the darkness within.
Mate, you can't even protect your own skin. Why are you caring about someone else's? I don't spend a lot of time trying to understand racists, because I never will. I'm a good person. But I can only assume that a lot of it boils down to envy. The irony of white supremacists purposely trying to make their skin darker will never not be funny to me.
I'm a dermatology nurse, and the comparison between their original shade and their new tan is so scary. I hope that this is just a filter, because the only routine that you have perfected is a skin cancer routine. And for anyone who needs a reminder, any sign of a tan is a sign of DNA damage, granted that it is coming from the sun.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen. In today's episode, you're going to be listening to white people as they warn each other and their own about the dangers of chasing black people's melanin. And this is because of the way they are going about it. Right. There's been a lot of theories on how these melanin injections are obtained, right? So let's watch what we prepared for you, and then we come back and talk about it. You can let us know what you think about this episode. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch and then you come back.
So let me get this straight. People are now injecting themselves with a peptide called MT2 to get the exact same brown skin that women have been told to bleach off their bodies for centuries. Someone make that make sense. And here's the part that we should all be concerned about. MT2 is a synthetic version of a hormone that tells your body to produce more melanin. It's not FDA approved, not for tanning, not for anything. So what people are injecting is unregulated. No oversight on the purity, no oversight on the dose. And the side effects, I'm talking nausea, blood pressure changes, and here's the most concerning one. It darkens your moles and can change them. And you know dermatologists have flagged that because changing moles are exactly what to look out for with skin cancer. People are risking that for melanin. For melanin, we were told to hide. Here's what I know. My grandmother stayed out of the sun. My mother was handed Fair and Lovely before she was handed a diploma. We were told to marry someone with more fair skin. We were told to wear lighter colored makeup. We were told to never let melanin win. A whole industry was built around convincing brown women that the skin we were born in needed to be changed. And now it's a needle, it's a trend, it's a vial with no FDA approval. But let me tell you something that the marketing team won't. The brown skin was never the deviation. The brown skin has always been the standard. We have been glowing in the sun while the world told us to hide it. So let me be clear about what's happening here. The same skin you sold us creams to erase, you're buying needles to fake. The brown skin girls didn't change, the story did.
Nobody hates white skin quite as much as white people. As you can probably see, I am not a very melanated person. My melanin comes in the form of freckles. All my life, especially when I was younger, when my skin was fresh and new and not so sun damaged, I was ripped for the colour of my skin, for my complexion. Only ever by other white people. I have been told, get some fake tan on there, girl. Get to the sunbeds. Take some melanin injections to help you tan better. And when a little bit of sunshine comes to the UK, what do we see immediately? Men with their top off, no SPF, drenching themselves in tanning oil. The stench of stale biscuits fills the air because the girlies are layering on their St. Moriz fake tan. And the sunbed shops are fully booked with people frying their skin just in an attempt to be a bit darker. The funniest part is I live in the UK, the same UK that complains about the rise of multiculturalism, the same UK where people talk about protecting British values. Mate, you can't even protect your own skin. Why are you caring about someone else's? I don't spend a lot of time trying to understand racists, because I never will. I'm a good person, but I can only assume that a lot of it boils down to envy. The irony of white supremacists purposely trying to make their skin darker will never not be funny to me.
People are snorting their tans. People are injecting their tans. I had to re-download TikTok for this. No, I'm not lying. Melanotan are synthetic peptides, often called Barbie peptides, designed to stimulate melanin production and induce skin tanning without UV exposure. Let's look at the safety warning. I'll move my head here. So these products are not approved by tanning for the FDA in the US or TGA in Australia, with regulators advising strongly against their use. Oh, yeah. And one of the side effects is rapid changes to moles and potential links to melanoma, i.e. cancer. So is the cancer not the problem for people doing this? Like for tanning beds, it's the aging of the skin that we're worried about, not the cancer. Here for a hot time, not a long time, I guess.
You have to start asking the adult questions. Where are they getting the melanin to inject into the people?
While I share this man's concern about what they're injecting into their bodies, in the comments there is a suggestion that people are essentially extracting the melanin from the cadavers of Black people and then injecting that melanin into themselves. That is not the case of what's happening. Rather, they are injecting a synthetic peptide hormone known as melanocyte stimulating hormone, which increases the production of melanocytes or melanin and also increases the risk of melanoma. So I do not support the use of melanotan, but I also want to dispel the myth that they are actually extracting the melanin from Black people.
A lot of people don't realize it, but melatonin is a hormone. There's a reason you can't go to the CVS and get testosterone and estrogen, right? Because hormones affect the entire system. They affect almost 300 different things in your body. So what you don't want to do is have somebody just willy-nilly grabbing a hormone and starting to pop it without somebody understanding what's going on with them. More importantly, melatonin in particular, and the point I wanted to make earlier about depression, melatonin interacts with all SSRI medication. An SSRI is a serotonin-specific reuptake inhibitor, an antidepressant. So things like Prozac, Zoloft, Celexa, all of those are medications that will be affected by melatonin ingestion, and nobody knows that it is. In addition, melatonin affects birth control, it affects blood pressure medication, and it affects diabetes medication. Melatonin is a sleep regulator, not a sleep initiator. Melatonin doesn't affect sleep drive, melatonin affects sleep rhythm. Melatonin only affects your brain telling it when it's time to go to bed. It does not make you sleepy. You need to really be thoughtful about using it. Number two, melatonin is not to be used in children, okay? So a lot of people are like, Michael, I've got pediatricians all over the country telling me to give my children melatonin. I'm gonna say it right here in front of everybody. That is the dumbest idea I have heard in a long time, because you just taught your child that they need a pill to sleep. No child needs pills to sleep. And by the way, most children make almost 4 times the amount of melatonin that their brain even needs. So giving them extra melatonin doesn't do you any good. Dosage also is a problem. Like if you go to the drugstore, you almost can't find it in the appropriate dose. The appropriate dose is anywhere from about 0.5 milligram to 1.5 milligrams. Maybe top out at 3, but that's about as high as you want to go. But when you go to CVS, you find gummies in 10 and 20 milligrams. And people tell me all the time, oh, I can't take melatonin, it gives me crazy dreams. Number one side effect of overdosing on melatonin is crazy dreams.
I take 5 sleeps. I need that to feel sedated so I can go to bed.
She takes 20 milligrams of melatonin every night just to fall asleep. When it comes to this hormone, more isn't always better. Melatonin is a hormone your brain naturally produces to signal that it's time for rest. Supplements can help with jet lag, shift work, or delayed sleep timing, but for most people with chronic insomnia, the benefit is modest. Here's what many don't realize. Most adults only need about 0.5 to 3 milligrams, taken roughly 2 hours before bedtime. Experts recommend staying under 5 milligrams for regular use, and the maximum safe limit is around 10 milligrams per day. Taking 20 milligrams won't make you sleep deeper, it just raises the risk of dizziness, confusion, irregular heart rhythms, or severe next day drowsiness. In rare cases, very high doses can even require medical attention, especially if mixed with other sedatives. When it comes to melatonin, it's not about taking more, it's about taking it correctly. If sleep only comes with heavy doses, it's time to look for what's disrupting your natural rhythm.
This man changed his race. A man named Nukazu said he always felt like he was black. He grew up around black people and he only felt safe around them. He wanted to change his race, so he used melanotan, an injection used to treat skin diseases. Day after day, he became more and more dark. Nukazus now considers himself a black man and a part of the black community.
Oh boy, this is gonna be good.
That's the reason why I'm going to be in January. I want to go to Africa.
I don't even. You hear her accent? This accent is crazy. Hold on, I'm gonna let the video play. But what? Yo. Oh my God, are we that free of concern in certain parts of the world that now people have to do the most ridiculous things to feel accomplished, to feel like they belong, like they're alive?
So guys, welcome back. My biggest question is to people who get these melanin injections and to people who are, snorting the melanin injection, do they know the risks they face when they do such things? Just like in the black community, people who usually bleach their skin, do they know the dangers they are putting their skin to? Because one thing I've realized between these two groups is whatever they have in common with these chemical injections is that they face the risk of getting cancer, skin cancer.
Right. And my opinion would be that a lot of these people, the public needs to be given education on this, and they need to be told the risk involved, because I feel like a lot of people are making decisions based off of a point of ignorance and not really doing the research it needs here. It's the same as, I don't know guys if you remember the time when, because I also feel celebrities have a lot of hand to do with how things become fashionable and how things are consumed. You look at, let me just give an example, Caitlyn Jenner and her time, right? When he was going through the transition into becoming a woman, it became very fashionable. He was advocating for that kind of lifestyle, but what they didn't tell people was the effects of doing that. And you even saw kids going to transition because they felt like being born male, they identified as female, and those ones who are born as female, they felt like they identified as males. And we've seen interviews on YouTube where people from this very same community are regretting their decisions, and they have to live with the life-changing consequences that came with it, right? But doctors didn't tell people, they didn't educate the public enough and tell them, these are the kind of risks and rewards that come with this type of procedure, and this is what you're in for, And I feel like it's the same case with this. You find that celebrities really made this kind of lifestyle fashionable, and people started doing it because it was fashionable, right?
Right. And, for those who would come onto the internet and say, but there is a safe way of tanning, but there is a safe way of taking melanin injections and all that. I would like to also liken it to the black community that usually use bleach their skins in order to gain advantages. Is there a safe way of bleaching? Because I do believe that bleaching is, however you look at it, there is no safe way of bleaching. Because one, I've often had, I don't know how it works, but I've often had that once you stop bleaching, you start bleaching, you can never stop, because if you stop, you might, if you're lucky, go back to your original skin color. But for those who are not lucky, there have been videos of people who've gotten, burns in their skin because of bleaching. So if bleaching has such adverse effects, I can only imagine melanin that's being injected to a body that was not meant to have that much melanin, what damages it can do to that body.
Right. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this episode, because I feel like it's a topic that needs to be discussed more, and people need to really do their own research before they go out doing such kind of things, right?
Right, because it can come off as a trend, a cool trend, but long-term effects, what is it really doing to people's body? Because we once did the history of tanning and where it came from and why white people became obsessed with it, right? And it was when people were associating tanning to wealth, because most people wanted to seem wealthy, because the more tanned you are, it meant that you were going more on vacations and spending time on the sun, meaning you had other people who are working for you. And that's the idea that I feel like it's being run up to today, because even in Korea, Korea doesn't work with that same ideology. But white people, the paler you are, the more you stay in the house or you work for somebody. But the more tan you are, it means to them, for people who have explained these situations, it means that you have more time to go on vacation. Hence, it signifies to people that you have a better social standing financially.
Right. But guys, let us know what you think about this episode in the comment section. Also, do you believe the origin of this melanin injection? Can it all be the synthetic injections that they're taking, or do you believe there's something more to it? Because right now, the volume of people taking that melanin injection versus the volume of those ones when it was starting, I do believe that demand has really grown, and therefore in order to sustain this kind of supply to meet the demand of that kind of audience, right? Do you believe that's the only source of the melanin injection?
Guys, let us know what you think about this episode down in the comment section. Also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.